Hello, everybody. Just doing a quick live stream for my lunch break. Um, Not sure if I'll do the whole time, but yeah, just wanted to jump in and say hello. Again, it's been a while since I've done some serious live streams. Not that I was ever a streamer. So if you're around, pop in, say hello. I would appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, just started my lunch break, so we will see how busy it is at 2 o'clock Central Time, Eastern Time. I know where I live. Yeah, so not a lot to talk about. I can always talk about a couple things. Just posted a video. Please go watch it. Very cool reissue announcement from the Zombies. One that I'm very excited about. It's been teased for a year now, and very, very excited that it was finally announced this late morning. I think it's when it popped up. Zach, what is going on, my man? Hope you are doing well. It is a happy Friday. I'm going to be very busy this weekend. I've got final moving to do this weekend from my apartment to the house here. So not looking forward to tomorrow at all. It's going to be a very busy day and probably a very tiring day. Have movers coming to the apartment, which again is about 2 hours south of me. Movers coming at 11 o'clock. Got to pick up a U-Haul, get stuff in the truck, into my wife's car, into my parents' car, drive it back here for 2 hours, dropping off some furniture at my parents' house on the way. Just all sorts of stuff that I am just not at all looking forward to. Yeah, this is the first time that I've moved that I've actually had, big furniture. Hey, Steve. I'm going to be on for a couple minutes if you want to hop up, just until about 2:30 my time. Then I got to get back to work. It's remastered, I believe, not remixed. First time in mono ever in the US for a mass release, an official release, and then the first time that it's been reissued in mono since the second pressing, the British pressing, in 1968. It hasn't been completely a mono record since 1968, is my understanding. I am not an expert. I'm going based off of what the website is showing. They are not saying who pressed it. They're not saying any of that yet. So I'm very interested to see if it's all analog, if it's a digital, cut. I don't know. All that I bought it. So, thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. And hello, Morton, or good afternoon, evening for you. Yeah, just a quick pop in here. But again, yeah, I'm very excited about the new. Very excited for the new Odyssey and Oracle. Again, it's been teased. The rumor, well, not even a rumor. Colin Blunstone, the lead singer, has said that there will be other albums coming out later this year, remastered. So very excited for that. All the details are in the video if you have not watched it. So please go check out my video. Just posted a couple of minutes ago. I did about an hour ago. Oh, very cool. I haven't been to a Hard Rock Cafe. I went in Baltimore. No, Gatlinburg. I've been to one in Myrtle Beach, not to eat, just to look around. And have not really been back. Let me see. Okay, so you have. Yeah, that's a cool box set. I have. So, there was a box set that came out probably before I was really getting into records. So I have RIP, and then I have the oddities and rarities, or the oddities and extras that came out a couple years ago as a standalone record store day piece. I think before that it was just available in the box set, but very cool stuff. Yeah, I think from what I understand, what Colin said, Begin Here, which is the official UK first record, is going to be put out, as well as a compilation of the singles and the B-sides, all redone, remastered. So I'm very interested to see what that's like. And plus, the Zombies have also said, that they're done touring, the touring version of the Zombies, which are Rod Argent and Colin Blunstone. However, they also said that they are still going to spend time in the studio. And if you go on their Wikipedia page, it still shows them as an active band. Now, obviously, Wikipedia is not the most reliable source, but flat out said that they're done touring. Colin is still going out and doing appearances. He's been touring the Hung Up on a Dream documentary that just came out earlier this year, which is now on Prime. Bob, that's all I gotta say. That's a good thing to be doing. That's what you should be doing instead of listening to this. Yeah, I've been playing music a bit while I've been working, but like I said, I'm off the clock at the moment for about 20 more minutes. Actually, you know what? Let's get that out of there. Yeah, so I'm very interested to see what the Zombies will be doing with whatever kind of studio time that they are going to be putting in with Rod Argent, who again had a small stroke. I got to see them twice, as many of you know. I saw them most recently. It was late last March, I think. Yeah, late last March, in Charlottesville, and it was a great show. But I did notice and was looking at Rod Argent, who definitely appeared very more feeble than Colin did, and they're roughly the same age. So that was a little sad, but he was still playing very well. Was not singing as much. I know when I saw him the first time, he sang "I Want Her, She Wants Me" from Odyssey and Oracle, which he sings lead on, and they didn't do that song. I think he only did co-lead on a couple of tracks, and then some. Yeah, Christian Bob. Yeah, that's just yeah. Carousel 44 would be a good single to have. It's a great opening track, that kind of tacky piano sound. But anyway, very exciting time for zombies fanatics like myself. Just over the moon. Couldn't be happier about that coming out. But anyway, I am in the middle of listening to this. This is the last of the Kinks compilations that have come out this year. This is the Journey Part 3. It's in conjunction with the Kinks 60th anniversary. Speaking of the zombies, this gentleman right there is Mr. Jim Rodford, who would play with the Kinks for many, many years up until they broke up. He also played in Argent. He is Rod Argent's cousin. Hello, Tim. All is good. Just very, very, very busy with moving. That's the biggest thing right now. Yeah, and like I've said, I'm on here for about 20 more minutes. Just a 30-minute lunch break, and then I'm back to work for a couple more hours before the weekend kicks in. But anyway, that's Jim Rodford. Again, Rod Argent's cousin. He was actually originally, before Chris White, was asked to be the bassist in the Zombies, but he declined at that time. And so they got Chris White instead. So Jim was very instrumental in the early part of the Zombies career. And he ended up being a touring member of the Zombies up until his passing in about 2014 or 15 or so. Yeah, it's fine. So this is the last of the 3 Journey compilations. They're all 2-disc. Really, really cool. I know Mazzy did a video on this where, he made a point, and it's true. All 3 of them, they don't run in chronological order. So like you might have a track from 1970 with a track from 1984 with another track from 1979. There's not an order to how these are put on there. It's more of a running order kind of thing. But this is cool. It has their later material from Misfits, Low Budget, all the way to State of Confusion. And then they have a second album on here. It's live at the Albert Hall, 1993, during the Phobia record. So you have 3 Phobia tunes on here, as well as stuff from the 60s, like, You Really Got Me, Sunny Afternoon, Dedicated Follower of Fashion, Celluloid Heroes from the 70s, just all that stuff, 8 Man from Lola. So cool to have. I've listened to the first record. I will listen to the live album to finish off my work day. So that's what I have been spending today to complete my 3-part Journey collection. So let me know if any of you all have picked that up. And then the other thing that's really cool is, again, as you know, I've been really I have been into Nick Drake now for about 5 years and just love everything. I want every single note that I can find of Nick Drake. If I don't have it already, I want everything. And I discovered this after watching some interviews on YouTube and listening to some podcasts and NPR conversations and that kind of thing. I discovered this album. This is called Way to Blue, the songs of Nick Drake. And this is credited as Joe Boyd Presents. Now, Joe Boyd worked with Nick during those, believe the first 2 albums. I don't think he worked with him on Pink Moon, but 5 Leaves Left and Brighter Later, Joe Boyd produced and, was an acquaintance and a friend of Nick. So this is kind of like his tribute to Nick. So it's got an official quality to it. This, again, from 2013. So it's a lot of artists that I don't know, although there are a couple people, Danny Thompson and Teddy Thompson, who are related to Richard and Linda Thompson, who Richard, as you know, was in Fairport Convention, and then played guitar on those Nick Drake recording sessions. So you have that thread there, which is cool, as well as Vashti Bunyan, who also I think worked with Nick in some capacity. I'm not crazy familiar with all this stuff, but really cool tribute album. It went on tour for I think 4 years in various countries. It went on tour. It was the same songs. It was 15 songs, but they swapped out musicians. They swapped out singers for depending on where they were in the world. The biggest name on here is Robin Hitchcock. But like I said, you've got some Thompsons on here as well. But my favorite songs on here are by a singer named Scott Matthews, who I did not know. But his version of Place to Be is fantastic. And then When the Day is Done from Five Leaves Left is also just absolutely fantastic. So this was really cool to have Way to Blue songs of Nick Drake. Again, like the liner notes kind of say, they're not trying to be Nick, but to kind of represent his aura and, you know, his kind of very mystic kind of, I should say mystical kind of feeling, because he didn't play that much live. And again, only had 3 complete studio records. So he's a mystery. You know, there's no film footage of him playing. There's only a few photos of him that exist. A lot of the film is from his childhood, his infancy. So, you know, the day that we discover any kind of, you know, Nick Drake home video that we didn't know existed will be just such an eye-opening thing. I did buy a book that came out last year, I think, and I opened it from Amazon, and the pages were just water damaged, like beyond belief. So I had to, I'm working to return it because it was just loose in an Amazon box, and I'm guessing it was sitting in some rain, and it's just, yeah, I would have let it slide if it was a used book, but you know, for paying 15 or 16 bucks for it. So very frustrating. Congrats, Amazon, on doing that. But that's an age-old story. We all have issues with Amazon at times, some more than others. But anyway, the other thing that I'm excited about this month, the end of the month, I'll be venturing up to New Jersey to see Oasis over Labor Day weekend, August 31st. I'm very excited to do that. Never saw Oasis during their first initial run. I was too young. Excuse me. I was 15 when they played their last show. So, you know, I was not traveling and going to concerts or anything at 15. So very excited to do that. It's at MetLife Stadium. It's going to be a massive show. The recordings that I've seen, they sound phenomenal. I know it's going to be a great time. I know one of the openers is Cage the Elephant. I really need to listen to more of their stuff. Don't really know much about Cage the Elephant. So it's an interesting choice, actually. They seem like one of those groups that Oasis would have bashed. But, you know, they've kind of mellowed out from what I can see. But, anyway. So that's very exciting. Let's see. The fall, I've got a few cool shows coming up. I'm seeing Old Crow Medicine Show this October, and I'm also seeing Elvis Costello as well for the first time. It's his current tour with the Attractions, or the Imposters, and Charlie Sexton, who I've seen several times play with Bob Dylan. Yeah, Tim, I know you're kind of up that way. I know I've contacted uh, Robert S. to see about him meeting up there. My wife will be coming as well, so she's not going to the show because I bought these tickets over a year ago. When oh, there's Robert S. Look at that. Yeah, I bought these over a year ago before we were even engaged. So um, life has changed, but we were still making this trip north. Um, yeah, it'd be great. We've got a hotel booked. We're not sure if it's going to be the hotel that we're staying at, but it has a direct access point to the shuttle to get to MetLife. So I won't have to worry about getting on a train or an Uber or anything like that. So yeah, your ears were burning, Robert, who just got back from seeing the Avett Brothers, and very jealous of the set list that you saw. Yeah, I keep track of certain artists' set lists to see what songs I've heard, and the Avetts are one. I've seen them now 4 times, and have the list of all the different songs that they've played. But yours had a bunch at that show in New York that I would love to see played live. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I know even if you're coming from the city, it's probably a good little haul. I mean, I don't know anything about that part of the country. Um, I've never been to Jersey. I've never been to New York. Never even been to Pittsburgh. So like that whole kind of eastern part of very metropolitan areas, I don't know hardly anything about. So yeah, we're excited. We're gonna do probably like a day or two of traversing in New York. I know it's gonna be like a 40-minute drive. So we'll see. I would love to do all the tourist stuff and maybe go to the Met and see some Seinfeld points. Just see all the tourist stuff that you're supposed to see when you're there. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to brush elbows with everybody in New York. Let me see. There was an album that I bought the other day. Robert, I know you're a Christmas guy. I bought this album, Rocky Mountain Christmas by John Denver. I love this album. I just showed it the other day in my live stream, but I thought you'd appreciate it. Has a nice musty smell to it, but it was $5. Pretty clean. Absolutely love this Christmas record. Have the CD, don't have it on vinyl. Yeah, I figured you might. I also got, to continue talking about Christmas real quick, I also got this one, which I'd never seen, Light of the Stable by Emmylou Harris. She's got Ricky Skaggs is on here. Neil Young shows up at the end on the last track with Dolly Parton and Linda Ronstadt. So very interested to hear that album, especially early Emmylou. She was actually just here in town 2 nights ago. I saw her live probably 7-ish years ago. It was just her with 2 other members of her band. It was a guitar player and maybe keyboards, and then Emmylou. And unfortunately, I'm not one to normally complain about vocals, but her vocals were just a little bit too warbly and breathy for me, even 7 years ago. So I can't imagine, how her concert was the other night. Maybe she's worked at it. I know Bob Dylan, his voice got better from 2012 to 2014. So maybe she got better, but I don't need to see Emmylou. Yeah, they had the store that I went to. They had about 4 or 5 classic era Emmylou records. They were all $10 a piece. A couple I almost bought, but I was like, I can't keep putting that kind of stuff down on albums I've never heard before. Even $10 records, I'm just like, can't do it. But that's a Christmas album. I figured it's going to be good, and I'm a sucker for Christmas music, so I was happy to get that one. But I think it was James Griffiths the other day who said that when he's at a used record store, he really doesn't spend more than $20 on a used record. And I'm kind of in that boat. Unless it's something really special, you will rarely find me spending more than $20 on a used record. There are too many risks involved. It's going to probably sound a little crackly. That's just my opinion. I know some people disagree. Oh, come on, Robert. You can't make fun of Dylan around me. No, the honest truth is, his voice. If you listen to the album Tempest, and then listen to Shadows in the Night, which was the fall record, it's night and day. It's still Dylan. It's not like he's got the smooth, vocal prowess now, but I happen to love his voice in all eras, with the exception of the 2 folk records he put out in the early 90s. Good As I've Been to You and World Gone Wrong. Those are my 2 least favorite Dylan albums, simply because of his voice. And I love Dylan, but those 2 were rough. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to grab a beverage and get back to work here. But I appreciate you all jumping on for this quick little live stream. Hopefully next week I'll be able to do a longer one once I have everything here, once I get a record room semi-organized. Which that just means having a couch and down there. But I appreciate y'all watching. Good talking to you both, Robert and Tim. Zach for hopping in earlier. Bob, who apparently thinks that it's dark in here. And who else on the internet here is kind of slow. Christian was on here earlier. Steve was on here for a minute. My dad, Morton, everybody. So, all right. That does it for me. I hope you all have a great day. Have a great weekend. And we will talk to you soon. Bye.